to the 505 Sports Venture Program. I'm Kurt Roth, and we're going to move ahead in a little bit to a very special guest, but I'm going to keep that a secret for now. I want to thank everyone for being here. This is our weekly show where we talk about the 505 Sports Venture Foundation. We talk about what that means with name, image, and likeness with the college athlete, and we talk about UNM athletics. We also take breaks and talk about the NBA, the weather, golf, and whatever's going on in Albuquerque. But today we're up high above Central Avenue in the downtown studios of ProView. Adrian, my producer's to my left behind the glass. And up the stairs is our host, Steve Davis, former Lobo great walk-on. And we're going to have Steve Davis back on the show in a week or two. So, mark that down on your calendars, everybody. Anyway, we're in a critical time for college athletics. Name, image, and likeness has caused an incredible increase in issues of money. Now they're public. Maybe in the past they had been under the table. But you're seeing all sorts of stories about great numbers, big salaries, in both men and women's sports. So it's up to us here in Albuquerque and New Mexico to keep the University of New Mexico competitive. And that's with your help. So I need you to go when you can to 505sports.org. We can take donations from $1 to $1 million. And there's monthly plans. We have public access. We're going to do a couple of group events in the pit when our teams are set to introduce our players. And we need your support. The UNM at Lobos are our professional sports teams. They're our major league teams. That's who we root for here. We take pride in them. And we need your help to sustain our competitiveness. Once again, 505sports.org. Check it out. Give us a hand. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with our guest right after this message.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Kurt Roth and you're watching the 505 Sports Venture Program. Got a special guest I want to get to right away. We've got a lot to talk about. Many of you know her, and if you don't, this is Lobo assistant coach Nike McClure. Nike, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much, Kurt, for having me.
Okay, so like I said, we don't have the hours I need to go through your history, and we've talked off camera, and so let's get to the point. First, okay, you grew up in the state of Washington.
Yes, sir.
Small town?
Small town, Tenino, Washington. Very tiny. My school was 2A. We had a graduating class of like 80.
Okay.
But I transferred schools.
Okay, so you grew up in a small town, but you started playing athletics. You were into sports at an early age.
Yes, my parents put me in sports, track and field in the 6th grade. Then I got into basketball around high school. My freshman year, I started taking it serious. And ever since then, that's been my thing, basketball.
Okay. So you're in high school, track, basketball. You started to be very successful, I assume, at the high school level.
Yes, sir. I just started getting letters in the mail, and I didn't realize, because my parents didn't know much about college sports because they didn't play college athletics. And once those letters started coming in, I was like, I guess I'm pretty good. I don't know, but that's when I started taking it really serious. And then Washington State came in the mailbox. They gave me a call, and I committed on site when they brought me in, and that's where I wanted to go.
You wanted to go to Washington State. Okay, let's just take a step back. When you started playing sports, were the opportunities as a woman or as a girl, young girl, available? I mean, you had full access to track and basketball?
Oh, yeah, I had full access. Thankfully, there was a lot of women that came before me who paved the way for me to have full access to sports. I'm very thankful for Title IX. But I had full access to sports. I was competing with guys, having fun, but very thankful for the women that came before me.
Okay, well, that's great because, as we know, the history is moves slowly in that regard. Anyway, all right, so you're at Washington State. You redshirted your freshman year?
Yes, I blew both my knees out, benched me, sat from the sidelines, learned a bunch, but redshirted.
Okay, and then you played 3 years after that.
Yes.
Pac 17, whatever.
Yeah.
I started, it was the Pac 8 when I was a kid, then 10, then 12. Then they stopped counting and just kept adding teams.
And they
so
completely
that was tough competition.
Yes.
Okay. What schools dominated the Pac 12 when you played?
Oh, man. Washington, University of Washington, awesome. They had Kelsey Plum at the time. They ended up going to that Final Four run. They were elite. Arizona wasn't the best at that time, but they're on the up and up now. But good team, Stanford. I mean, we never beat Stanford at Washington State, still to this day. So it was a tough league.
Oh, no doubt about it. Sadly, it's no more. Who was the best before you got, we're going to get to it, coming to New Mexico, but when you played out west, who was some of the top? You mentioned Kelsey. Who else? The top players?
Top players, man. So Monique Billings, she's in LA now, playing for the Sparks, but she was for the Atlanta Dream for a while. She was elite, and I had to guard her, and she was a bear. Oh, my gosh. I had Kelsey Plum, obviously, with the Aces. I had to guard her. She put up like 40 against me, and oh, my gosh. They left a sheet. My coaches left a sheet underneath all of our hotel doors saying how many points we let up, and mine was definitely like 40. Not the best game, but those were the two biggest names when I was in college. Christina Nigwe, I'm not sure where she's at the WNBA right now, but there were some
great women players. All right, so now you've done 3 years at Washington State, which was your dream school.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, the rules kind of change, and you can transfer as a graduate.
Yes.
So you graduated.
Yes.
New Mexico, how'd that happen?
I started getting calls. People wanted me to play for them. I didn't realize that how the transfer portal worked because it wasn't a big deal back then. But I put my name in there, started getting phone calls from people. Then New Mexico gave me a ring. I had a good conversation with Michael, and it was during my finals. So, I was very content with what he had to say about the fan base, the support, the community, the school, all in all. So I just committed over the phone.
No visit.
No visit.
Had you ever been to New Mexico?
Never.
What? I love that.
Never.
I came. I had been all over the West as an 18-year-old and showed up here sight unseen and was like, oh. Was it like you thought it would be when you got here?
Man, I knew it was gonna be the Wild Wild West out here, but I drove from Washington here. It was 21 hours, and just slowly as I'm getting here, the trees are disappearing, and I'm like, oh man, Wild Wild West. I think I'm Will Smith out there. Oh my gosh, it was mind blowing. Really, a total 180 from Washington.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so you show up in Albuquerque, UNM, as an athlete. altitude? Did you notice it right away, or did you just walk into it and get ready?
The altitude crushed me that first week, but listen, you have to, as an athlete, right? They teach you head up, shoulders back. You don't show nobody that you're tired, but man, did I want to crumble. But that first week after you get through that, it's a breeze, especially when you go down and play San Diego State or something. It's just, yeah, I feel like I'm David Goggins.
All right, so give us 35 seconds about that year at UNM.
The year was fantastic. It was the most fun I had playing basketball. I was a fan favorite. The fans, they were awesome. Like, they just took me in. I felt like family. We got second place that year. We should have got first, but Asia Robertson, my point guard, she tore her ACL playing Wyoming right before the conference tournament. Got to the tournament, lost the first game to San Diego State, went to WNIT, but I mean, all in all, my best year of basketball, the most I felt involved in the community. It was great.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that's San Diego State in the tournament. Man, we can't get rid of those guys. Anyway, all right, we're going to finish up. That's part 1 of today's show. A lot more to talk about. Hang out with us, and we'll be right back after this break.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're here for segment 2 of the Sports Venture program, and I'm here with Lobo assistant coach Nike McClure. All right, so we talked about coming to UNM, thoroughly enjoyable, successful year, WNIT, the whole spiel, but you always wanted to play pro baskets.
Yes.
So you did. How'd that work?
I mean, once I started taking basketball seriously, I did the research in terms of like college, and then the next step after that. I was like, pro ball sounds awesome to me, whether it's WNBA or overseas, and ended up going the overseas route. But yeah, I wanted to go pro.
So where'd you play? You played in a couple of locations. Where'd you go? First year?
First year I was in Cyprus, so it's a little island in the Mediterranean, a little close to Israel, Egypt, that area, but Cyprus was first.
How was it?
Oh man, I got lucky. I was on tropical islands the whole time, so I mean, I'm on this cool little island playing teams in that country. A little scary at first because like you don't know if somebody's gonna pick you up from the airport when you get there, but after that I acclimated really well, and I had a time of my life.
Good food?
Oh, man. Are you kidding me? The fresh fish all the time. Oh, healthy, the salad with the mozzarella.
All right, so year 1 goes great. You're going to do another year. Where's that take you?
Portugal, Madeira, Portugal, another island. Like I told you, I was blessed. The island gods were looking out for me. But I was in Madeira, and that was during COVID 2020, so the island was completely shut down. I had the place to myself. It was top tier.
So what was that? What was the competition like? Were there other Americans?
Yes, there were other Americans. My first year, I was a little nervous with the whole situation, so I got a bunch of accolades after that. But I realized my next year in Portugal that I can go a little bit harder, so I took it a little bit more seriously. Ended up being the MVP of the league that year. Then came back here.
Okay, wait a minute. So you're MVP in your second year.
Yes.
And you said that's it?
So I didn't want to say that was it, but I'm fine with hanging my jersey up on that one. I had originally signed to go play in France for my third year.
An island?
No, not an island, not even Paris. It was the boondocks of France. Thankfully, I got out of that contract. Jasa, who actually works with me now, took that contract over, and I came to UNM and started my dream job.
All right, wait a minute. So you're in Portugal, thinking about going to France,
Yes.
probably in the boondocks, probably in the wine country.
Yep.
And next stop, back to Albuquerque? How did that happen?
Back to Albuquerque. I mean, I was signed to go to France. I had signed my contract. They were talking about suing me about not coming over there, but like I said, Jasa saved me. But Mike gives me a call. I got home from playing in Madeira. He gives me a call, and he's like, "Hey, are you interested in coaching at all?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, that sounds totally epic." So I came back to Albuquerque, another drive down here. I've been here ever since, just loving it.
Okay, awesome. So now you've done 3 years?
Yes, I'm going to my fourth year now.
Okay, wow. So first year, not formally a coach. What was that? What were you doing?
I was director of player development, so I did all the videos. I wasn't too busy that year, mainly watching, learning, observing. That was my biggest role, bring the balls out to practice. A lot of little stuff that goes on behind the scenes that nobody knows about was my first year.
Right, okay. So, boom, year 2, you're promoted, you're a coach.
Yes.
What happens then? What do you have to do?
What happens then is I'm now doing scouts, I'm recruiting more often, and developing a bit of an ego. That first year, I had to learn my lessons, pretty quick, but yeah, I had to drop that. But learning how to coach and be around the kids more, I was on the court, so, and still observing, I had a bunch of good coaches I could look up to, Keith Freeman, Mike, Val King, so.
That's right, Val King. Is that your future is coaching? You want to be the head coach someday?
Yeah, I would love to be a head coach someday. Okay. I would love to run my own thing, but right now I'm highly content in what I'm doing.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love just being a supporter.
All right, well, we mentioned it before. You mentioned it briefly when it was the graduate transfer deal, the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. Okay, the transfer portal is wild. It changes, I think, hour to hour. Yeah. And, we saw the men's roster with everyone sweating. Then JT disappears. Then all of a sudden there's a whole new deal. Kids come and go. The women, you guys have a big turnover in the roster.
Yes.
How many? Now, we had two solid ball players, Anaya and Charlotte, just said they've had enough. Their bodies had enough. They're not going to play basketball. And then we had, I think, 5 gals going to the transfer portal. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now you've got half the roster to fill.
Yes.
How's that?
It's been going great. I mean, that's the reality of college sports now. There's going to be a lot of turnover. Thankfully, we're not the only team experiencing this right now, but there's going to be a ton of turnover. We've just been working and grinding to put together another team that can hopefully lead to a championship, and that's always the goal. Winning's always the goal, and obviously taking good care of these girls. But, yeah, we've been recruiting and doing what needs to be done.
Well, one thing I'm always interested in is you guys have been consistently, Lobo women's basketball has consistently had student athletes from overseas.
Yes.
And again, already, and we'll talk about some individuals in the last segment, but how do you recruit overseas?
Oh, thankfully we have people that we know overseas, our handlers reach out to us about players, so we typically get a lot of emails, basically summarizing kids with video and what they do, and we watch all those videos, go through those emails, and we kind of just sort out which ones we think will work, and then sometimes every now and then we'll fly over there to watch them, but just staying in contact with those kids, and then we'll bring them over here for a visit, we'll work them out, and if they work out for us, they do.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're coming up against the break, so we can get into that a little bit, but that, to me, that's fascinating. I mean, you are literally, for the most part, looking at video of kids and getting recommendations, doing Zoom. I guess Zoom's a big deal now.
Huge.
Okay. All right. So everybody hang with us. We're going to come back for our final segment. Got a lot to talk about in the next 5 or 6 minutes. Stay with us. This is the 505 Sports Venture Program.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Welcome back for our final segment of the 505 Sports Venture Program. I'm here with Lobo assistant coach Nike McClure. We've got so much to talk about in so little time. All right, briefly for our Lady Lobo fans, tell us about the foreign gals who have committed to UNM.
Yes, so Joanna, she's a point guard. She's from Portugal. She's fantastic, a sweetheart. She works really hard, and I think that she's going to have the skills in the next couple of years. I think you're going to see her blossom as a player. Lily from Finland, she's probably a 3-4, can shoot the ball, very athletic. I'm in love with her game, so I'm excited about her. Liddy, who's been announced, she is from Congo, and she's fantastic. We have a bunch of foreign kids, Mozambique, Ulda,
Right.
just great.
Germany still, Lara.
Yes, Lara from Germany, quality people, just quality people who want to come in here and work.
Is the universal language basketball?
The universal language is basketball, but let me tell you, like, they spend time with their teammates, they're all speaking English, so they'll come in and their English isn't the best, but by the end of that first year, they're just, English is off the chain, just fantastic.
Yeah, I guess that's part of this education process, too. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
We work with, at 505 SVF, we had a NIL contract with every player on the team last year. We hope to have that happen again this year. The women need your support, guys. So, hang in there, 505sports.org. We're going to have some big news about women's basketball shortly. All right, again, so little time. The big news in women's baskets has been Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Changed the game. Game changer. At least, from my view, from the public perception, outdrew the men's game. Championship game on a Saturday afternoon, was it? Outdrew the men's game on TV. What does Caitlin Clark mean, and what's the future? What does she mean to what did she mean to college basketball, and basketball in general, women's basketball, and what's the future look like because of the groundbreaking she's done?
Yeah, so I mean, you have a bunch of groundbreaking players. Caitlin Clark just happens to be the newest one in a list of legends. But every time you have a player come out that's doing something different than what the rest of them have done, it elevates the women's game. So you have kids watching Caitlin Clark shoot deep threes. So now kids are going to be in the gym practicing their deep threes. And so that part of the game is going to change. The assists they watch from Caitlin Clark are going to change. You have kids who are being less selfish with the ball. Like my idols were Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie, Maya Moore. So I modeled my game after them. But we don't really have bully ball like that no more. It's more of the finesse game. So that's what Caitlin Clark's bringing to the game. These kids watch her. They're inspired.
Well, it's amazing. Already we've seen she's made her mark in the WNBA. I think the opening game sold out.
Yep.
Someone was telling me, maybe it's this weekend, they're playing New York. And I don't think you can get a ticket. So, that's the future. I mean, it would be great to get that WNBA up there and competitive salary-wise.
Yeah, right now I think it's appropriate what they're making. I mean, but as soon as we get more people in these games, we get more legends coming up like Caitlin Clark. I think she'll go down in record books one day. But as you get more of those people coming in, the fans come. When you have talent, the fans come.
And then TV comes. And that's where you're going to get paid.
Yes, sir.
That's where you're going to get paid.
Yes, sir.
So that's something exciting. I have to tell you, I'm a big basketball fan. I was very skeptical when I heard about her. I said, all right, she's not going to get off these shots against the bigger teams. And she just kept stepping back and hitting and hitting and hitting. And then great court sense. But what I really liked about her is she had a little bit of a nasty to her.
Yeah.
She could
little
throw
bit
an
of swag.
elbow. She had a swagger.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, when the whistle blew, there was a little after the fact, and really, really liked that. And I think the fans like that, and it's let's be competitive.
Oh
here.
yeah, it's entertainment at the end of the day.
Okay, so we've talked a lot. We don't have that much time. I'm going to add a new segment. You're going to be our first person to go through this. I'm going to ask 4 questions
That's good.
on the spot. You ready?
Yes.
What's your favorite movie you have to watch whenever it's on?
It's a long one, but Interstellar. I have to watch it. Tugs at my heartstrings because the father-daughter relationship. Interstellar.
Okay. Is there one food you cannot eat?
I'll eat anything. I am not picky at all. Like I just had a chicken heart at Tucanos the other night. I'll eat anything.
Okay. Favorite athlete?
My favorite athlete is going to have to be, like I said, Dennis Rodman or Larry Bird.
Okay. Last question. You have dinner, 2-hour dinner with 3 people, whether you've met them or not, dead or alive. Who sits at dinner with you for a couple hours?
It's going to have to be my father, coolest guy ever. I think he's
What's his name?
the bomb. Gregory McClure.
Okay.
He's just a character, that guy. And so I'm going to need another character because I need to offset a little bit. I need more just crazy people around me. Dennis Rodman, I need him. He's my favorite, so I got to have him. And then for a lady, I'd love to have Amy Winehouse there. I dig her energy. I dig her vibe. I like her music.
Awesome. That's great. All right. We've got a minute left. Where do the Lobos finish this year?
The Lobos finish wherever we need to finish at, and hopefully that's at the top. We're recruiting to be at the top. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. We got a new roster, so.
Going recruiting this weekend?
Going recruiting this weekend. Houston. I'll be there. Catch me in Houston, and the rest of us will be all over the place.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. I can't wait to have you back. We'll definitely have you back once we get rolling during the season.
Rock on.
Anyway, guys, thanks for staying with us. We're looking forward to a next show. I've got another special guest, but I can't publicly release it yet. And again, we're 505sports.org. This is New Mexico's professional teams, Lady Lobos, men's basketball, football, every sport. Our goal is to have an NIL deal for every student athlete at the University of New Mexico. So help us out, 505sports.org. If you see me on the street, stop me, ask me, whatever you need to do, whatever we need to do, we're going to get done here. 505sports.org. We'll see you next week. Thanks for being with us.
Rock on. Come on.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is